So this is what you see. Amazing. On the I think they do this, I don't know how often maybe, but I've heard about people go roller skating, and there are loads and loads of them. And this is another part of the nightlife in Medellin. We're at Lasenta. There are loads and loads of them. Very nice. More riders coming through. It's really nice to see people actually enjoying the city in different ways. It's nice to also see a lot of women participating, so it obviously feels safe enough. Wow, hundreds of them it feels like. And more of them. It is a big city, so you have more advanced and beginners alike all participating. People you know. Oh, there are more and more people. That's good. Pretty amazing, I have to say. All right. That's an interesting introduction to... I'm actually surprised that this guy was in the crowd there, and he was able to actually see his friends, and he came running, and everyone was like really happy. Oh, more and more. How many of them? All right, this is La Lasenta. It's the place where people say, oh, that you should... This is apparently the hangout where locals come to have a good time. These are also two girls who participated in the run, but they probably gave up halfway through, because if you're not really used to running or roller skating, even if it means gliding, it takes a lot of physical effort. And oh, more and more of them coming. Oh, these are a bit more advanced. You see the way they glide through. And then less advanced. All right. Back to the story of Lasenta and what people... So, and what people say is that it is the busiest street where all the locals in Medellin come to hang out. unlike the side of people never actually stop for you in the zebra crossing. So that is one of those things here, and then more roller skaters. I wonder if they're going in around the same area, because I see the distance between the front runners and the other ones. The distance is quite big, so just wondering what it is. But anyway, so anyway, back to the story. And apparently this is where, you know, it's a bit more laid back here. It's got a local vibe, and it's, I would take it, it's probably also less expensive than maybe El Poblado or, you know, Provenza. Provenza is a bit feels a bit more, and then they've got a party bus as well. So that girl on the skate, she was just flying through. It's a well-lit area, so anyway, there are a lot of it almost feels, you know, the older part of Las Vegas, it feels a bit like that when you come across this area here. It just feels another roller skater going through. I have to say, of all the places I've visited so far, it's really nice. All the fancy party buses. Perfumes, Hugo Boss. I wonder how many of those bottles are originals. There might actually be, but you just never know. Because one thing that we tend to forget is that sometimes the factory that would perform the original versions are also the same factory doing the imitation. So they probably make it less quality, but it is still coming from the same endpoint. So it's just one of those things that is business. A lot of street food, and a lot of people actually eating, you know, on the street. It's nice. I like the local vibe. And of all the places like El Poblado, Parquilleras, Provenza, I think Lasenta just feels a bit more authentic. All right, it's commercialized, but it's a busy street, but it still feels a bit more. Oh, that's a big. Oh, that's funny. So, this is one of those things where it feels a bit more authentic. It's not the fact that it's a snapshot of daily life in. It's a snapshot of daily life in what's it called? In Medellin, but the fact that this is where locals actually come to have a that's a big meal. Looks interesting. Shawarma, that's huge. I have never seen a shawarma like that, but it's big. Alright, so the local vibe makes it a bit more interesting, and this is where a lot of locals apparently come to just have a good time. And I can good music. Well, I mean not loud music, I mean. Alright, so because of that, you have all the locals coming to have a good time here, and I think that's a good thing. First of all, it keeps the prices grounded because you're not really tending to, quick gringos and all the foreigners coming with big dollars, big spenders, and also another thing is that you've got cheaper prices that locals would appreciate, even gringos would appreciate it. More buses. They're in a Poblado Park. They've got these buses, but here it just seems there's just loads and loads of them here, and then I can see. So you can rent the bus, and then they're not really parking here, but it's really amazing. I think this is my new favorite barrio. Provenza was better, was nicer than Parque Lleras, but I think this is even much better than. This is a bit. It's lively. It just feels right. If you understand what I mean, it feels right. It feels like wow. It feels like, oh, this is another part of Colombian society. That's the way it feels like. You're walking down and so much food. But that's good. Food is always good. Dominican restaurant. We just went past the Mexican one, so someone basically said, if you want to enjoy Medellin nightlife, the best thing to do is to try every other area. So you could come, maybe go to Provenza, have your meal there, and then go to, I don't know, another location, Parquilleros, or any other area, and have a drink, and then go to another one and have a snack. Just get a feel, go around. And it is said that you'll enjoy it more if you're not alone. You need to go with someone. It's just, it just feels better. Something else I've noticed about all the vendors and employees coming to say, hey, come and have a drink. If you tell them no, they just don't insist. They just say fine, and they just move on. And I think that's good, because otherwise, with the amount of people, vendors, calling at you, trying to get you to come and spend time in their bars, I think after a while it would just be a bit too overwhelming. So yeah, at least you've got that going. That's a good thing. And people also say a la orden aquí, here, a la orden. So it gives a idea of, you know, we're here to serve you. And in Nicaragua, they say, oh, pase adelante, like come forward too. And so it's basically boils down to the same thing. But what I like about the whole thing is that it's still the same Spanish, but every country has its own adaptation or vocabulary of saying the same thing. So I think that's it's a really good thing. And the bar in front there is just, well, a lot of light, the Caña Brava. Yeah. So that's I think one good thing about bags, really pretty. Sometimes you want to admire the work, but you feel that they might think, oh, want to make you buy. But sometimes you just want to, you know, get a closer look and, oh yeah, you want to buy, it's cheap, I give you a nice price. That's marketing, all right. There are a lot of hotels here as well, so I think if you come in here and basically stay in this part of town, the advantage of I see here when compared to maybe the other location is that if you enjoy the nightlife, you don't have to take public transportation, taxi, to get your destination. You can just walk out of the hotel and just, you know, taste every food on the strip. It's quite long. I think this is one of the longest one compared to all the other places we've visited on our time here in Medellin. So, and I think this is, I would say, my favorite part. Almost feels like in Memphis, where you have the party bus, and then you have all the activities on the main street. The decoration of the buses is really amazing. It would be interesting to see what this place is really like, say on a Saturday or during high season where everyone is here and it's just booming. It would be great, but I think it would still be a bit overwhelming. La Logia nightclub, it looks like. There was a cacique. That is a very famous drink in Costa Rica. If you're just wondering why. One of those drinks that people enjoy. The public city buses, well, I don't know if they're city buses, but they're still running. Anytime you come to Medellin or a big city, people say, where's the best place to stay? And you have people saying, oh, Poblado, you know, if you're a gringo, you're, what's it called? A stranger, well, not stranger. If you're a tourist, go to Poblado because it's a more secure area. And then others say, oh, go to, what's the name of go to Envigado, go to, well, oh, they've got these names. And then Laureles, where we are, apparently this is the name of the area, and this is also where the Lasenta is. And they said, okay, those are the safer areas. But then you have this debate online, no, Lasenta feels like it's safe, but the problem is it isn't. So you need to be very careful, because you get the impression that you can just walk around, but it's not safe. But oftentimes people will take an anecdotal event and make it a rule. But the whole point is this, that common sense should still prevail no matter where you are in the city, and don't get involved with what you shouldn't get involved with. There are debates online about gringos coming and encouraging, you know, street work, and others are saying that's BS. They don't encourage it. If you go to the center of Medellin, which is like the Candelaria area, where you have the Parque Botero with the art, and just behind that you've got the Veracruz area, and people are saying you don't get many gringos there, but you still see street work ongoing. So don't blame the gringos for a problem that would exist with or without the gringos. And I think it's a valid point, because others have said, look at other areas outside of Medellin or outside of the more affluent area, we still get people walking on the streets. So you can't really police presence. Yeah. You can't really blame all your problems on gringos. So it's a wild debate. But sometimes I think it almost feels like what happens when people are like Americans want to blame immigrants on all their problems. And they're like, we're all the immigrants, you know, taking all our jobs, taking all our pretty women. Oh, I don't know if this is actually a true event, people eating. That's good. Just makes it. Okay, so, and there was a sketch online, posted online somewhere, either on YouTube or one of those social media platforms, and it was someone saying, yeah, all the immigrants, they should leave because they're taking all our jobs. And the other one was saying, yeah, what do you do? And he was unemployed. Yeah, he said, but then all the sometimes when the music just feels good, you just want to join in, but they probably wouldn't appreciate you killing the vibe. They're like, okay, thanks tourist, but keep it moving. This is a job for us. All right, so, and the sketch, back to the sketch, like, you know, you want to blame all the visitors, digital nomads, the experts, the immigrants, and then it was like, okay, oh yeah, all the immigrants are taking all our jobs, yeah, and it was like, what do you do? And I don't know if he was unemployed or anything, but anyway, and then he says, well, what about qualification? Well, he was like, yeah, they took the qualification as well. And it was just so absolutely bizarre, the mindset that absolutely doesn't make any sense, but people still want to believe what they want to believe. And I think that's the amazing thing. And that is why when you get an unscrupulous leader coming into the place and saying, oh, we blame all the people who are not like us. And then you look at the history of most of the countries, it's never been about, you know, people coming from the outside. Most of the problem is just an excuse. And it's a way to basically conquer and divide. And I think that's one of the things you see happening. Someone belting out some tunes there. Well, what can I say? Lasenta? I know this is not a busy day, but I already prefer the vibe here. It just feels, it doesn't feel like it was designed just for tourism. It just feels a bit more like, you know, streets with restaurants, food, and a lot of fun. I'm sure it probably has a dark side to it as well, like everything else. But just to say, it is probably still one of the best areas. Yeah, so I like the, I wouldn't say impromptu, I like the impromptu musicians coming in and performing on the street. I think it's just really nice. It feels, it's just like we went on a tour, an organized tour, and on the tour there was at the end there was a meal at the restaurant somewhere where everyone had to just be in the same location. And what happened was that during that tour they had a musician come and play the guitar, and he was very good. He was a very good singer, so acoustic, and it was really nice. He was, you know, just belting out all these songs, and a lot of people did appreciate that. So it was just an added, and you tip him if you enjoy it. or at least if you, well, you don't have to enjoy it. You can still tip him. I think he would appreciate it still. So you've got that going. But anyway, so it seems that a lot of the restaurants tolerate the singers coming in to entertain the customers as long as they don't encroach on the business. So it's a win-win where you get live music or live karaoke, and then you can tip if you want to. But I think it's just one of those, there is a mutual understanding that you don't encroach on business. We tolerate you coming there to entertain our customers, and hopefully you get some tips. So, but the interesting thing is the singers are almost everywhere. I've seen them on street corners and at busy markets. It's just like almost, I would say, part of the culture. Oh well, it's beginning to rain, I think. I've seen enough of Lasenta.